Let's go over the entire lineup of the XP series headlamps and flashlights from Coast. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll see that I have been bragging about the quality and value in Coast lighting for years. I'll throw some links up here to check out a video I did, it's been years now, where I went over the lineup of lights that we had in inventory at the time. And there's another link to a video that reviews a model that Coast came out specifically to compete with the Streamlight Stinger model. And I like Streamlight a lot. I'm a fan of theirs, and we're a dealer for them. But we're going to compare the Coast to the Streamlight because they're probably the most equivalent in competition on the market. And I don't do this to bash Streamlight because I really like them a lot. I just have seen now for years a better overall value in the Coast. So we're going to do some comparisons as we go through this and talk about the technical specs and the differences as to why you might want Coast over Streamlight or any other brand. So what would happen is, years ago, before I was carrying Coast, I was carrying Streamlight like every other tool truck was. And then I learned about Coast, and I got some of the products in, and I learned about them, and I saw them in action, and I started really kind of taking a liking to them. And then I put them on the shelf of the truck, on the same lighting shelf with the Streamlight stuff. And as customers would come on the truck, they'd look at the lights, and they'd ask, about the similarities and the differences. Well, when I got down to talking about the differences, I go down this list of things that Coast had as an advantage over everybody else. And what would happen is, unsurprisingly, I guess, people would opt to purchase the Coast light. So when I gave them a choice, they'd always opt for Coast. So taking the lead of my customers, I decided then to stock the trucks entirely with Coast products. And if somebody wants a Streamlight light, we're happy to get them for them. We can special order them. But as far as keeping lights and headlamps in stock, it's Coast all the way. And I'm very glad that we did that. They're very popular, very good sellers. And the pricing is so much better than the equivalent Streamlight units that not only are you getting, I think, quality that's at least just as good, but if you can do it at, in some cases, half the price or even more, the decision makes itself. So let's go over what the lights have for features, functionality, and technical specs, and we'll talk a little bit about how that compares to Streamlight. So first of all the Coast lights I'm going to show you are IP54 rated. Now you put that right on the box, there on the bottom. And what the IP rating is, it's a rating that you've seen on other electrical devices. IP stands for Ingress Protection, and the 5 and the 4 are two different numbers, and they're independent numbers rather, and they each stand for one thing. The first number stands for the protection that the device affords against particulate exposure, and the second number, in this case it's a 4, tells you the level of protection it affords against liquid exposure. So the IP rating, the Ingress Protection Rating, was created by an organization called the IEC, the International Electrotechnical Council. And they have a series of tests that they expose devices to and derive from those tests the level of protection that it has against particulate and liquid exposure. And they assign a number rating to that. So in this case, the particulate rating is 5, which means that it is not dust sealed, but rather dust can and will enter the unit, but it does it in such a low amount that it will not adversely affect the operation of the light. In addition, the liquid exposure rating, which is a second number, in this case it's a 4, that means that this will survive exposure to splashed liquids from any direction for a minimum exposure of 5 minutes. That is not to say that this can handle being submerged, nor can this handle, say, a powered stream of liquid, like from a pressure washer or something else like that. So if you drop it in your coolant drain pan, sorry, it's not protected against that. But if you're out in the weather, if you're getting liquid splashed on it while you're working underneath the vehicle, it is protected against that. So the rating there is valuable to know exactly what to expect in performance when exposed to the elements. I think an IP54 rating is perfectly suitable for everyday exposure and the everyday work environment that you see in not just your average shop, but even your more than average shops. If you're in a particularly dirty or dusty environment, if you have liquid splashing on you occasionally, then this light will do very well for you, even in a work environment as tough as that. Each of these lights shares a few different features. They all have 2 patents. One of them is a focusing beam, and Coast calls that their pure beam focus. And the other is dual power. That means that this light will run, and all their lights will run, on a rechargeable power cell that it comes with, and also either alkaline batteries or lithium batteries, depending on the type of light. And I'll show you that there's both. For example, like the CR123 lithium batteries work in some lights, and then you can just load AA or AAA batteries in some of their other lights. So when you look at things like features like the focusing beam, for example, is going to affect how bright the light appears, because it's going to go from a spot to a flood, and that's going to change the intensity of the beam. It's going to make it seem brighter depending on how much focus you put to the beam, right? So when you look at the lumen rating of these lights, although the lumen ratings are higher than Streamlight, sometimes guys will compare. They'll take a Coast in one hand and the Streamlight in the other, they'll turn them on, they'll shine the light and say, well, you know, it's brighter, the Streamlight's brighter than the Coast. I'll say, well, let's focus that out a little bit and make the beam a little more intense, and all of a sudden, even a lower lumen rating can seem brighter if you focus the beam down. So you have a variability to these that you don't have in the Streamlight lights, and as a result, you can make these lights more suitable depending on your application. For example, it's entirely possible to have a light that's too bright. If you're doing an up-close inspection and you're trying to read a VIN number or something that's right in front of your face, you don't want 2,000 lumens blasting you right in the eyes as it bounces off the thing you're trying to look at. So maybe focusing that out to a flood mode and using the lower power or whatever is going to yield you a better result. The fact is, you have some variability and some options at your disposal with these lights that you don't have with anybody else. And perhaps the best feature of all is the lifetime warranty that these carry. They're built in a really nice aluminum housing, and like I said before, they're sealed to some degree against liquid and particulate exposure, but of course there are times when electronics fail and they have issues. It's all covered. The best advantage that I can tell you about the Coast lights is this. If you give me a broken Streamlight light, I have to send that into Streamlight and they send back a new or repaired unit. And it usually takes, depending on shipping times and what their backlog is, 4 weeks or so. So you're without a light for a while and I have to pay to ship that thing to them and back again. Well, Coast has changed that game. I can swap out a broken light on the truck for you. So you bring me the broken, I hand you a new one, you're down for a lot less time, and I don't have to pay the shipping. You and I are both winning, and Coast is getting the business. So it's a fantastic win-win-win for everybody, and it has made me a big fan of the brand simply because they make it way easier for me to help you. And if we can ultimately give you better service, that's what this game is all about. And Coast does that, and I really appreciate the fact that they do that, so they allow me to work with them directly, or I can work through a distributor. The option's mine, in whatever works best for you. All right, so let's dig into each individual unit here, and we'll go over the headlamps first. The first headlamp is the XPH 25R. They come in boxes that have a cardboard sleeve on them. And the box opens up from the end. Silica packet, do not eat it. And the light comes in the top of the package, and then if you open up the compartment below that, it's got your power cord, hard hat clips, a rubberized band, and an elastic band. And then down at the bottom of the box is the instruction manual, pamphlet, that tells you all about how to use a light. The power switch is on the end cap here. Press it once, green lights up to tell you that it's on, and when you turn it on, it comes on medium. Click it again, goes to high. Click it again, goes to low, and then one more time, it's off. If you wait long enough between cycles and you hit the button again, then it just goes off. The focusing bezel here is on front. And you focus the light by turning the bezel. Here is your flood. Here is your spot. And that's somewhere in between. One of the nicest features of their headlights is this magnetic end cap. So you can remove it from the band and use it as a little drop light or a work light by sticking it to an engine, something under the hood, the underside of the hood itself, underneath a car, whatever. You have one of the coolest options I've ever seen. And you access the battery by unscrewing the cap and removing the rechargeable cell that it comes with. The cell itself has the charging port on it. I don't know if you can see it right there on the top. So on the XPH25R, if you're not using a recharging cell, then you can use a CR123 lithium battery. All right. The specs on this guy are, its lumen rating is on medium 155 lumens, on high 410 lumens, and on low 42 lumens. The beam distance on medium is 75 meters, on high it's 120, and on low 38 meters. The runtime is very impressive, and I don't know what Coast is doing to get such efficiency out of their batteries, but the medium setting is rated for 4 hours, 15 minutes. On high, it's rated for 1 hour, 45 minutes, and on low, a whopping 9 hours and 15 minutes. Next, we're going to look at the larger headlamp. This one's the XPH30R, and it has the same technical features as the previous light. It's got dual power, and it has a focusing beam. And if you're running on dual power in this one, you're going to use 2 CR123 lithium batteries if you're not using the rechargeable cell that it comes with. Same design. Switch on the end cap. Magnet on the opposite end cap. Focusing bezel on the front. Same deal, comes on medium. Next click goes to high, next click goes to low, and then off. There's one cool additional feature though. All right, comes on medium. Next is high. Press and hold the power button from the high mode, and look at that. It's got a turbo mode to bring it to the full lumen rating. You can see the flood and the spot before it. There's somewhere in between. And it also comes with the same accessories that the last light came with. Headbands, hat clips, and the charging cord. All right, the specs on this guy are lumen rating on medium is 150. On high, it's 490. On low, it's 40. On the turbo mode, it's 1,000. The beam distance on medium is 63 meters. On high, it's 112 meters. On low, 31 meters. And on turbo, 165 meters. And again, an impressive spec on the runtime. Medium, it's 10 hours. High, 7 hours, 45 minutes. And on low, a staggering 41 hours. I mean, I'm not making it up. Right there on the box. And where is it? There it is. Impressive stuff. All right, let's go over the flashlights. The first one is the XP9R. It's got the same technical features as the headlights. In that it has the focusing beam, the dual power, and this is in the regular flashlight form factor. It's very similar to the Streamlight Stryons. So it comes on high, clicks to low, clicks to medium. You focus this guy by sliding the barrel front and back. You lock the barrel by giving it a twist, and now it's not going to move. The specs are lumens, 350 on medium, high it's 1000 and low 67. The beam distance on medium is 125 in meters, 225 meters on high and 55 meters low. And the runtime, 8 hours on medium, 3 hours 10 minutes on high and 25 hours on low. The XP11R is the next flashlight we're going to look at. If you're using dual power on this one, it will use 3 AAA batteries instead of the CR123s. And they give you a battery carrier with this in the box. So everything that you need comes with it except for the batteries. When you click it, it comes on medium. Goes to high, goes to low, and then off. This has a turbo feature, like the larger headlamp. Right? The small headlamp and the small flashlight, the XP9R, do not have a turbo mode. Alright, so when you go to high and then press and hold the power button, it goes to turbo mode. I may have forgotten to mention that turbo mode will cycle down after it's been on for about 60 seconds. It reduces the fire and heat hazard that having such a bright beam will introduce. So don't wonder why if you have it on turbo mode it cycles back down. Does that by design? It's supposed to do that. And as a result, we don't get runtime specs for turbo mode because it's not intended to be used for a prolonged period of time there. So the specs on the XP11R, the lumens on medium, 330. On high, it's 1000. On low, 75. And the turbo mode is what puts it up to 2100 lumens. The beam distance on medium is 88 meters. On high, it's 155 meters. And on low, 42 meters. And 220 meters on the turbo mode. Runtime, 7 hours, 15 minutes on high, on medium. 5 hours on high and 37 hours on low. And turbo does not have a published spec for runtime because it's not going to run at a prolonged time on that mode. Last, not least, the Big Daddy, the XP18R, 3,650 lumens. Let me talk. Let's rap about luminosity, shall we? I know you because you're on the truck all the time, and lumens are to lights what torque is to impact tools. I know that most people buy lights just because they're stupid bright. Am I right? You've done it. We all have. Even if the light is too bright for your application, you're going to buy that light if you're all about how bright it is. Just like you're going to buy an impact that's rated at 1,400 foot-pounds, even though you don't have an application that might require more than 600. There's a coolness factor there. Nothing wrong with that. But these also do have applications in lots of different industries. So they can be used for tactical lights. If you're walking around outside, I don't know, let's say you're working on a service truck and you're doing on-call stuff and you're out trying to find a piece of equipment in an equipment yard at 3 a.m. You know, maybe you need something stupid bright with a really long throw so that you can see stuff from a long way away. There's lots of applications for this. And you can also shine a light in your friend's eyes and blind them temporarily. Don't do that. Do not. I'm saying I've seen it done. And I think the other funny thing is when someone comes on the truck and they start looking at lights, what do? Let's see. Boom. They hit the thing and boosh, right in their face and they blind themselves. It's funny because it happens so often. Completely predictable. Or they're on one side of the truck and their buddy's on the other side of the truck and say, "Hey, Joe." And Joe looks and goes, blam, right in the face. I'm not condoning it. I'm saying I've seen it. And it entertains me. All right. Same features as the other lights. So when you hit the power button, it comes on medium, goes to high, goes to low, and cycles to off. And from high, press and hold that button. Man, you got a turbo mode that's brighter than the sun. Slide the barrel in and out to focus it, and like the others, twist it to lock it. And this one you can hear click when it locks. It also comes with a battery carrier. This takes 6 AA alkaline batteries as its dual power option, in addition to the rechargeable cell that it comes with. Lumens, 420 on medium, 1460 on high, 65 on low, and turbo's got that 3650 lumen setting. The beam distance on medium is 110 meters. On high, it's 206 meters. Low is 44 meters. And on turbo, 330 meters. That's like a number of football fields, isn't it? I think. I don't know. Is that what a meter is? I don't know. It is. It's about 3 feet-ish. So football fans, that's a long way. There's your point of reference. The runtime on medium, it's 9 hours and 30 minutes. The runtimes on these seem crazy to me, and I haven't tested them. I probably should do that someday. On high, 6 hours and 30 minutes. On low, hold on to something. On low, the runtime is rated for 58 hours and 30 minutes. So these guys know how to set some products apart from the rest of the competition. And there's a concept in marketing called like blue water, where you want to have the sea of blue water between you and your competition. Coase's done that. They have created a distance between them and anyone else such that they've got a value you can't beat. The pricing on these is so much better than the Streamlights. I'm going to give you, and also, another example is I can offer these at about their MSRP, which is unheard of for a tool truck. I'll give you an example. So a guy comes on the truck with another guy who's new to the shop one day, and they go right to the shelf where I had all the Coast lights, and I had a few of these on the shelf, the XP18Rs, and he walked in with a Matco flyer in his hand. And he looks at the flyer, looks at the light, and goes, "Oh, is this the same one?" I said, "Yeah, it is." He says, "Is it less than this price?" And he holds the flyer out for me. And Matco had it in their flyer on sale for $189.99. And I said, "My regular price on that's $129.99. So he saved himself $60. And I still have enough profit margin there to make it worth my while. So Coast pricing is good to me. It means I can make the pricing good to you. It means I can sell these same products for less than what you'll find them on other tool trucks. And when you look at the difference between brands, these are far less. I mean, try finding, there's a Pro Tack option that Streamlight has. It's about the same specs as this guy. It's not for $129.99. I think the last time I saw the pricing on those, it was pushing $300. So the pricing is not even close. And normally you would justify spending more money on something by saying, well, there's additional value there because a warranty or service or reliability, whatever it is. All those things, in my estimation, are completely equal between Coast and any of the other top line lights on the market. So do yourself the favor, save yourself the money, and buy the Coast light. You're getting the same quality, you're getting better runtime, and you're getting a much easier warranty process, and you're saving a ton of cash with these products. I love them, and I'll sing their praises all day long because as a product and as a company, they have not only not let me down, but they've stepped up and performed and are people of their words. They stand behind their products. They're easy to work with, and I love them a lot. And I think it's a great option to have these as our primary light inventory on the trucks. So do me a favor, keep watching the channel because in the future, we've got a number of interesting and new videos, including a brand new series on air tool repair, and you're not going to want to miss a deep dive review I do on a Gearwrench 114-piece master tap and die set. So do me a favor, click down here now to subscribe so you don't miss any of it. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, use a tool. Don't be one.